Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. How is everybody? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, so we're gonna talk about quilts today. So, which one talk about? This is actually one of my very first paper piecing projects. I did this as a quilt kit. I think I bought the kit in 2014, and I was making it for Pop. I knew it wasn't going to be that big, and I was recycling one of Pop's mom's blankets that was next to her the whole time she was going through cancer. So I put it on the back, so it would never go anywhere but stay with Pop. So, you know what I mean? And it's nice flannel. Yeah, fancy meeting you guys again. Yeah, and you can tell it's one of the hospital blankets, right? You know, so. Hello, hello. It's just me today. Pop is still in Burlington, so we are getting a storm to hit us sometime tomorrow night. Did you use the same? Yes, I did. And I used glide thread. Actually, I should probably go grab one of those. Okay. I was trying to figure out what my questions might be, and you know, how can I anticipate them? So, hold on. This is a blizzard colored thread, and it's just Walt just really seems to like this sort of thread. It's a glide thread. Oops, get down a little bit. It's called blizzard in color, and it's very pretty. Used it on one of Allison's quilt. So yeah, I use the same. And some people do, some people don't. So hello everybody. I'm sorry, there's lots of names that kind of went past there. So hello Deborah, hello Pat, hello Nancy, hello Jill, hello Linda Lindsay, hello Charlotte, April, June, hello Miss Practically Creative, hello Miss Laura, hello, welcome. Well, and then each color I stitch differently. So this was a learning. And do I feel, no, in a way I guess I do. When I go to base stitch it, I lay it out top to even, like I start from the center, work one way, and then stitch down. So, and then I'd work from the center, work one way, and stitch down, just on the neck throat of the machine. And then as I roll, I make sure that those are even as we're going, right, as we keep going, and making sure the border's not wavy either. So. Yeah, so each one of the, like I said, this was specifically made for Pop. It was my first time paper piecing, so that's why it's not perfect. I didn't quilt it up perfectly. I did not use a ruler at all. I just wanted to have whimsical fun. In a way, I wish I would have used rulers because, you know, some of this is a little, you know, now, because it's one of my first ones. You know, it's like, I could have done better. I know I could have done better. I was just so excited. I just was so excited just to go and have fun. I just had fun. Right, and then chose to quilt each one of these, and even change thread color. You can actually see it more on the flannel side. Change thread color too as I was progressing through those colors. Right, so I came in and did all the reds with like a little brick shape, and then I came in and did all change thread, and then came in and did all the red or orange with a little ribbon candy, and then changed, and then yeah, so that was a learning process in itself too, right? So, and then But yeah, this would have been so much prettier if I would have done proper arches and just did instead of just willy-nilly, right? Hello, good morning, good morning. Hello, 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 Amy. Hello, Miss Practically Creative. Hello, Taylor. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. I just have water. I don't even know where I put it. Oh, it's over here. Okay. Cheers, cheers, everybody. Yeah, sorry I didn't do the Tuesday night Zoom. Munchkin was having a bad day, so we chatted. So we just hung out. No. No. And then gray is for, what I did for all the other ones. So, but I do have a few, this is one of the, like I said, my very first paper piece project. And then quilting it up, having fun, and then binding it, while using the back or using one of Pop's mom's flannel quilts from the hospital. So as just a, and he likes it. It feels nice. It feels nice. Yeah. Thank you. Well, he loves it, and that's all that matters. But yeah, it was definitely fun to do. But I mean, it was definitely a learning when you're trying to stitch something different in each of those little triangles, or, and it's like, okay, well, what do I do? Well, okay, blue, let's do some waves, and green, let's do some weird triangles, and, so. It might be a bit of both there, Wendy. So how's everybody today? We good? Happy Wednesday. It's a little bit weird seeing you guys here on a Wednesday. I think it's not perfect. I don't have perfect points, and there was I was like, what happened to the piece? Or I flipped it the wrong way. And actually there's one piece, because I made a mess on the cream color, and I found a replacement for it. But if you're not looking for it, you'd never see it. So at least I don't think so. Yeah, well, this one had sentimental value to Pop too, so definitely. Thank you very much, Balloons. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Do you free motion more than using the computer? It depends on the project, Laura. It really depends on the project. Thunderstorming here. We are supposed to get hit tomorrow night, and it's supposed to stick around to sometime Saturday. So, batten down the hatches there, Tracy. I heard you guys are in for a storm. So be careful. We got water. We're all set up for that. So I'm good. Know where the can opener is for can stew. My night is good. That's good. I'm glad your night is good. So it really does. It does, Laura. It depends on the project. Batting preference. Sorry. No. I missed it. If you asked it, I preferred 80-20. I prefer an 80-20. Yeah, we actually the sun's out at the moment, but I think we're still supposed to get another sprinkling of rain, and then it's coming back again tomorrow. So we've had quite a few over the weekend. Oh, jeepers creepers. That's a lot. How's it where Miss Allison is? I have potato soup in the crock. Oh, that sounds delicious, Miss Pat. That sounds delicious. Potato soup in the crock. What did I make yesterday? Why 80-20? I like the fact it adds I think the fluffiness by the cotton and the durability by the poly. I find it very durable. I find it easy to reuse. I find it easier to franken-batten it together. Some polys are so thin that it shreds. So like hold on, I have a couple here. I was expecting my other 3 bolts to be coming here. So. But what I have here is both of these are 80-20, okay? But they're different companies, okay? This one is Hobbs, and this one is, hold on. Is it on the post? 1 second. I want to say Mountain, but it might not be. No, I don't think it says it on here. No. Mountain Mist, I think, is what it is for that one. But that one is a wider back one. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay today. I make sure to put on a mic instead of just relying on the boom because I knew I'd probably be doing some walking around. But they are both an 80-20. Just one is a white because you don't want it this. If you happen to be working on a white quilt, you wouldn't want just the creamy color of this one shining through. So you make sure to use the white. Okay, that's good. Thank you. Appreciate that, Nancy. Hello, Lori. Yeah, ask questions. That's what I'm here for. Ask the questions, please, please, please. Ask questions. I can only help as much as I can, and we are all going to learn together. Hello, Michelle the quilter. Welcome, welcome. Cheers, everybody. Just got water. Thought it was Wednesday all day. Nope. Hello, Memoirs of a Long Arm Quilt. There she's probably got questions and answers for you too, good people, so, or answers for you guys. Can you tell I'm fairly new to long arming? No computer on my long arm. I do both. Like I said, it all depends on what the project requires. Do I do a little bit of this and a little bit of that? Like a perfect example here is Allison's project that just came off the long arm. Okay. Do a little overhead there. It's got machine as well as custom quilting. This is the back of it, just so you could be able to see it. Okay, so and then I put stars in the corners here on both sides, and then stripes with stars in between those gaps. Okay, so like I said, that's the back. This is the front, but you wouldn't really be able to see it much from the front, so that's why I really wanted to show you the back. Do you ever use rulers, and if you have, do you have a favorite one? I just use more, if it's a ruler, it's more just a straight ruler. Here, let me grab it. That's why, and I do have a ruler plate that I slip onto Walt. Let me grab that too. Hold on. Thank you. I love the questions. Love the questions. I wasn't sure where we were going to go with this. And I wish I had a camera to go over the long arm for you, but I wasn't thinking that far ahead, so I'm a dork. So here is my ruler plate, and I slip that in. This goes underneath where the bottom of the machine is, and the plate pops through here, and then this is where all the doodads and thingamabobs. This is where you can still oil the machine. And then this sits under, and then I can work like this as my stability between the two, like between the quilts, right? So it would be like here. Sort of thing, right? No, don't apologize. I just didn't know what was going to be asked. So I'm trust me. That's why I wore the mic today, not just relied on the boom mic. So this would be my favorite ruler, if anything at all. I do have a piece of plexi that it's a straight side and then a bit of a curve, and that sometimes, if I'm just trying to follow around something or echo something, that's usually what I'll do. And I'll hold it with my right hand or my left hand, and then just guide with the machine with my right. Okay. I like that your ruler has a handle. Where can I purchase? I came with mine, and it's depending on your machine. Oops. Sorry. Depending on your machine, you should be able to find a ruler plate. See if they have some sort of ruler plate for it. So, hello Eva. Hello, hello. John Jacob. No. How's it going? How's it going? Hello, Miss Kelly Cruises. How did your? Hold on. What did you have yesterday? You were. Hold on. Wasn't the dentist? No, it was allergy shot. That's what it was. Ruler, not ruler. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, no, that was actually gifted to me by a fellow long armer. She didn't like it. So, and it's done me well, so I like it, and free's good. So, yeah. And it was a gamma one, so. And I like it because I can hold my hand up here and I'm not too close to the edge, but sometimes you do want that closeness to your ruler and your project. So, Here I come, Google. Yeah, I just thought this would be just a, you might be able to see just the more of the detail in the quilting on this side. Then, so that's the latest project from the long arm. So, and hopefully Miss Allison likes it, because this is her first look, getting to look at it all done. So. That's the back. Even as a whole cloth stitch, like as a, you know, like a project stitch out. There you go. And then, of course, this one was trapuntoed, right? It was trapunto. We trapuntoed this. She believed in me enough to let me play with her project. And I just have to take the base stitches out. But I just came in and I stitched around, as you can tell. I just stitched around just a section here, and then it's all puffed up. Should be able to see. I'm trying to see if I can get it on an angle in the camera so you can you see how puffy that is? It's just so cute. So cute. Yes, and thank you, Miss Allison. Yeah, and it really all depends. How, like, what do you want stitched on it? How do you want it stitched? What's the density? Do you have a certain stitch out that you like, you want to put on there, and then just work it around? There's things to work around it. Like there was this one here. I thought I'd do a cross. Okay, hopefully you can see it there. Oh, here, let's flip it this way so you can actually see it. Okay, so I did the diamond shapes. I drew them out first, okay, and then I just put words in the cross using the gamma. Put the letters, spread them out, filled it up, and then did that twice. I think I did the stitching. No, I didn't, because it was variegated. You can see it's variegated thread. And then I just came in and quilted the bedickens all the way around it. Like just like crazy nutso. Didn't care which way I went back and forth, but all over, just to really, really densely quilted. So it's gold. Aw, thank you. I can hang that. Well, that's mean. It could hang either way because it's a beautiful piece of art, right? Yeah. Alison did a fantastic job. So, you know, there's love here, hope, and then peace, and then joy all the way down. I went all the way down to joy too, right? So little free motion in here, and just, you can't, like, it's like I scribbled. Like I scribbled the bejeebies out of it. I didn't know what else to, oh, okay, well, how do I get the technique I'm looking for? So you can tell maybe on some sections I thought, oh, I'll do some circles. And then I came back and did other circles. And then I did lines. And it just, how do you fill that in so it is so dense that, you know, you can't really even tell, right? And then just did a little swirly meander. Like there's my finger. So you can say that's not like a small one, but it's not a big one either. But like that's pulverized. That's like paste. Right, and it's just going out. This was just a piece of fabric. I thought, well, I'm just going to go have some fun. It was a little lighter blue on one side and the white on the other, and I thought, well, I'm gonna play around and have fun. That's what I'm gonna do. So that's what I did. Oh, thank you. But and this was like one of my very early projects. Right, you gotta have faith in you and just jump in. And not everything's gonna work out. Trust me, not everything's gonna work out. But it doesn't mean that you can't just seam rip it. Right? Just rip out threads. So, yeah, but I think one of my favorite projects was definitely doing this one with the different colors on Pop's quilts. Right? Threads here, which I didn't know what to do with that first, because like I said, this was like literally my first one. There is a thing called self-threading, and it's got like forked tooth at the end of the needle. Normally would you throw for the eye of the needle. So what you do is you take it when you're trying to bury your threads. You'll take it, you stick it right up where you want it to, because sometimes you're dealing with really short threads. Okay, really short threads. Okay, so you always come in first, try to hide it in between the batting and there. And then you'll take that little short thread, feed it through the little tooth, and it holds it there. Sometimes you have to give it a little tug down to get the second section so it goes through. But once it's in there, and then you just pull your needle out through the other side, and then that takes that thread and buries it straight up in there. Buffering. Uh-oh. What's going on, people? Well, I hope that picto will be safe. Yeah, she is headed our way, that's for sure. I use Glide as well. Heard recently to put finer weight in the bobbin, but not sure why. I never did. I never did change it up. But I mean, you know, some machines are all different, right? I don't think so. It's relatively nice right now there, Melissa. I mean, it's sunny out. So I don't know. Same, just now learning to do free motion on your machine. Well, and I even have this out too, and I got my foot out, and we had a little thing project so we can, you know, do something, and I don't know. So like just wanted to help answer questions and be helpful. Tried to be helpful at least. And talk about different projects, right? So, and one of my other big projects that I did, I had I didn't mean that one. I had a big queen size sheet, also from Pop's mom, and I wanted to recycle that. I didn't want to throw it away, so I took a big strip of white broadcloth and a big strip of black broadcloth, and thought, okay, I need to learn this machine. I'm gonna learn this machine. So I set myself out big squares. I should have thought of it in more detail when I was setting it out, but you know, I'm so excited, right? And we also needed it like to hang a spot in between where I was trying to separate the quilt shop from the rest of the house, so you couldn't see the kitchen and the bedrooms and stuff like that. So, so I made this big beast, and it's some of my very first work, and there's some things I still don't understand. Like I to this day have a hard time wrapping my brain around feathers. And we'll just kind of look at it section at a time here. So I kind of set out a border for myself. Let's do this. You can see a little bit there. Okay, little border for myself, and then just quilted that. This one was all the clamshells this way, and then did try to do something different in each of those little clamshells. Country in here, and the internet starts having issues several days before her. Oh, really? Oh boy. I just bought some variegated thread to finish my JR rug. Oh, Jelly Roll rug. Does it need a special tension or like regular? If it is like a normal weighted thread, you should have no issues to it. I just want to zoom in a little bit. There we go. Okay. Okay, let me move these two off or over. Probably just over. I have a feeling I was going to make a big pile of mess here. And then, you know, it's trying to just learn, do something different in the borders, and then like little circle here, and then, you know, just trying to train and teach myself by doing different designs and having fun, trying to have fun. How can I make this learning work for me, right? So, and had little borders to play with as well as big sections. So I was playing with borders. How can I work borders? How can I work a big section? And figure out how we stitch it up. This was like my first learn thing. Like how and then my star. I love the stars. My stars to this day are still one of my favorites. So, and I've done them as snowflakes and as stars and stuff. And then like I said, we recycled the sheet. And it just hung in the quilt shop just as a barrier. So, and I just used different colors. And then I was trying to work with letters. How do I make a letter? And then I was trying to make like a flaming S. And I don't even know what happened here, but I had fun. And I think I learned. Yeah, this is all free motion. Yeah, this is all me just trying to learn the machine as when I first got it. Right? We all have to start somewhere. And it was, okay, well, how do I fill in a border? How do I make a little square patch? How do I fill that in? how do I learn how to do these feathers everybody's doing? I'm like, oh, I'm just going to do swirls and like a leafy thing. And then I was looking them out. I would just like look online for inspiration or just come up with a bunch of my own. Like just have fun. Just have fun with it, right? Oh, here. Oh, there's the flowers. And I was trying to like do a dragon. And I even quilted down on the bottom. It says Mom and Pop Quilt Shop, and that's because it hung at the bottom. You can see that at the bottom. I did bind that one. Yeah, and I did bind it with just all white. Oh yeah, I wouldn't have not bound it. That's for sure. It was hanging. It was hanging up proudly. What else was it? Oh yeah, there's the little jumping stars, and then just yeah. But you have to take things inspiration from what's around you, right? So I just set out big squares, and I thought I'm just going to pick a color, and I'm going to fill this whole row with this color, and then I'm going to make some more squares, and then I'm going to pick another color, and I'm going to coat that all row with different things. Like, the only way I could learn it was to throw myself right in, right? Because I'd only done whatever I had on my domestic machine, like this one right here, right? So, and I tried to do feathers. I didn't do too bad. I do better feathers on here than I do over there, but it's just a matter of practice, right? And the flowers are cute. There's a few I really, really like in here, like that are like some of my favorites, right? This one, like I don't even know what possessed me to do it, but it's kind of like I was like lava, rocks, river, alien planet, salmon eggs. I don't know. Like, where do you draw your inspiration from, right? You know. And then this one I've done on a few quilts. Very fun, easy to do. And then this is also a really good filler. The different shapes and filling around, and none of it's ruler worked. I think I barely even used and I even forgot. There was like one section here I didn't even stitch. So I'll have to get it back on the long arm eventually and stitch something up there. So yeah, just learning. You gotta learn, right? Anybody have any questions? Yes, you just need to play more. And by playing, you practice. Because you're going to find out what's more comfortable for you to do, right? Do you like doing sharp angles? Do you like doing more ruler work? Do you like having a template first and then following the template? Do you like just having an idea of what you would like to go here? So uh-oh, what's going on here? Thank you, Memoirs. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, the computer is great for a lot of things, but if you don't know how to have fun with the thread and the coloring with thread, then the machine's just going to do all the work for you, right? So, but some people are like that. They just want it done with an edge to edge, nothing exciting or overwhelming, just, that's hey, to each their own. Everybody's got a certain different style, right? So, hello, Jessie. Hello, I'm late. Which long arm do you have, and do you recommend it? I have a Gamel Statler stitcher, and it has a 22-inch throat space. I think 22-inch throat space, 24-inch, 22. It is 14 feet long, and you need about many feet around it to deal with it, as well as, to maneuver. I would not suggest maneuvering in a U shape. Done it for years. And I would recommend it. I would recommend the brand, for sure. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, you kind of just need to step back and relax, you know. I did take a weekend course on learning how to use the computer part there, Jesse. I did. Pop and I went away, got little laptops, went for a whole little education Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a learn all in sort of thing. I think it did help, but I also think just so you could understand what the little boxes were and what those boxes do. But if you were just, if you didn't have that opportunity, just knowing what they do and practicing what they do, you'll get to know it. It's just a, you know, dozen and a bit, you know, icons to get to know. And yeah, you have to let go. You have to let go of the perfectionist part of it, because nothing's ever going to be perfect, right? And if you're going to wait for perfection, you're never going to get your project done. So, and the person you're giving it to doesn't care. And will you after it's done? Probably not. It'll be done and you can move on to the next project, right? Unless you're so focused on getting that one just bang on 100%, then, you know, hey, whatever makes you happy. A large quilt on a domestic machine is not easy. No, it isn't. I've done many myself. That's why I ended up getting a long arm. I did three queen size quilts for Pop's aunts. They were two were in the hospital at the same time for completely totally different things, and then I didn't want the other one to get left out, so I made her one as well. So I'll get them done for, I think it was at Christmas, or maybe it was the family reunion, I'm not sure. I have so many projects going, I don't have time to be for there you go. You just have to have fun, right? So, do you spend time doodling on paper, whiteboard, tablet to practice what you want to do, or just or try out? Yes, I do. Actually, I wish I would have had my little booklet that I had in the house, because Munchkin actually was doodling on it. So, yes, I do. Especially, hold on. Let's this one here. Hold on. Flop this one. This one here really had me kerfloofed. You didn't hear that? Because, just pops up there. Hi, Sophie. Hold on. Let me get you a cookie. Let me get you a cookie because you're such a good girl. There you go. There you go. Yeah, her camera's not on because I tried to move it over to the long arm and it wasn't long enough, and I just didn't get enough time to set it all back up again. So you're just kind of stuck with me in the overhead. So on this one here, okay, because it was my Bargello, and it's normally obviously working with squares, I thought, I'm sticking a circle on this. So I went and I made an arch. Hold on. Okay, and I made two arches. So they go around the whole, there's four big arches that go on this quilt. And then in those arches, I use the machine to help me with the arches, but the rest, besides this outside border of waves and a whale, the rest is all me. Okay. So when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do in this arch, I tried a couple of different designs, and the heart won out for me. I had one that was doing like a swirl curl back, just around, and then back up again and just filling it, and so on and so forth. And that would have looked nice, but I really wanted, I don't know, I just wanted the differentness. So that's why I put a different swirl here in the center of that circle, and then to also complement the pebbles or the rocks or whatever going around the outside. So, but yeah, and it just helped me solidify what I wanted there, and also what I wanted to quilt in the space around those squares or the circles was just like the, you know, breadstick or, you know, matchstick, whatever people like to call that sort of stitch, right? So in between and work your way around, right? But yeah, I do spend time doodling. Sometimes it's if it's just like a free motion project and I'm just, you know, having fun with it, I'll just play with it on the long arm and know that I can just rip it out, right? So, and then, oh, maybe you can see, yeah, I guess you can see a little bit more. on the back side here. And then I put sailboats, sailboat there, then there's a whale. But I know you can't really see them, but they are there. They are there. And it's a big project too. It's a really big project. So, hello, Ms. Lois, how you doing? Right, make your quilting plans and just do your best. That's exactly it. Exactly. Just and have fun. Have fun. The word and the key word is fun. Learning is fundamental, and as you're having fun, you're learning and you're learning and you're having fun. It's good. They go hand in hand. Okay. And sometimes you're learning what you don't like and what you don't want to do, but that's still learning, right? You don't like circles. You like nice straight angles all the time. Sharp stars, diamonds, straight lines, cross hatches, whatever. Maybe that's your thing. You don't like curves at all. So then then go for it. You figure, I don't like curves. I don't like doing curves. So good morning, everyone. Just got home from grocery store, putting food away while watching. Well, hello, welcome, 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 Ms. Lois. And I think it is, if you're really stuck on an idea of what you want to quilt on something, doodle it. Doodle it down. Use there's freezer paper. I got markers. Lay something out. Trace your block out a little bit, or use you can use those clear plastics, mats and whatever. You can use those too, and then cover those, and then take it away, wipe it off. There's many wipe on markers and stuff like that to help with that too. So. Oh, well, thank you, Nancy. I appreciate that. The medallion quilt is on hold until I get back from my cruise and buy more Kona Black. There you go. I thought you bought a big roll of it. Bolt. Sorry, not a roll. A bolt of it. So whether you're doing this quilting, this type here, on this machine, or a big machine, or a mid-arm, the principles are still the same. The only thing I can suggest is when you're working on a bigger project, you get that outside part rolled as tight as you can get it, working on that half or that quarter, and then just focusing on that 1/4 that you need to focus on, because that's sometimes what I did with the projects for the ants. Was I'd roll it up really, really tight, use some safety pins to pin, so I knew it wasn't going to flex and go anywhere. Pop did get me some bigger, like C kind of clamps, not clamps, but like it would pop over, but I didn't find it stayed very much. It would, especially if it was a small project, it would roll. But anyways, I just found safety pins. That way I know it didn't move. And then I would even kind of flip it and roll a little bit the other way, so you're only working just with that one section. Yeah, and make sure you have a clear enough space. Like you got enough space around your whole table that you may want to, normally if you work over here on the side, you may want to move it into the center so you've got more room to move that project all the way around, right? And your shoulders, don't tense up. It's not a boxing match. You're not going to one-on-one with the quilt, So but it does feel that way sometimes, because your shoulders get all tense, your hands are like this, having a comfortable position, using gloves. Plastic gloves that you normally use to wash your dishes, just the yellow ones, the garden gloves with the little tippy things on it that you can buy from the dollar store, professional quilting gloves, take the tips and the tricks where you can find them, right? So. Take a picture and doodle on your phone. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, or even just getting inspiration from mandala patterns or something, a free coloring book, or a shape, a design that you like, right? Do you have any idea what you're going to do on the peacock? Probably just stitch in the ditch. That, to me, I think it was anything else would take away from all the hard work. If anything, I might do something in the center of each of those colors and then just stitch down the barbs, like near the blacks. Stitch around them. So, Sass is going. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Bye. Good night. I'm boring her. I'm not entertaining enough for Sass. She's out of here. How much do you charge for long arming? Has your business picked up since you moved? No, it hasn't. Well, if I advertised, it might. But I'm not ready to actually have people in here yet. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done here. I want the windows done. I'd like the floor done. So yeah, it's a step process, right? So we knew that when we purchased. It wasn't going to be boom automatically replaced. So no, but it will grow. It'll grow. With times, things will grow. Oh, and as for charge, it depends on what you're looking for, as in customization or just a plain edge to edge. So that all depends, right? And how big the quilt is. And do you need batting? And do you want me to bind it? Do you want me to put the binding on so you can hand stitch it? Do you want me to machine it? Do you want me to trim it? Can you long arm over embroidery? Yes, I have, but I don't necessarily suggest it, because when you especially if it's a really detailed embroidery, okay, say a character, Mickey Mouse, okay, we'll just say Mickey Mouse for, he had the face of Mickey Mouse. That would be very dense with the black and the white and the whiskers and the ears and everything else like that would be really dense on that fabric. So having the long arm come up and bump over that, it might do a little skip-de-doo, and you might be doing skip stitches during that section, and then once it came off of that embroidery, it would go back to stitching to normal, most likely, if that didn't throw off its tension. With the computer, obviously when you're free motioning, you can go around that, choosing any way you do it, give her an echo first and then meander around or what have you. Also with the computer, if you had an edge to edge, you can click out that space and make it so that the machine didn't stitch the pattern stitch out there, gave it a border, like an echo instead. It would do that too, and I've done that as well. So, but I think if an embroidery has a lot of meaning, I would not go through it. I think I would just kind of go around it. So, but if it's just like a blanket stitch on a flower, as that is the flower being stitched down, it's just a blanket stitch, I wouldn't worry about it at all. I'd just be worried that if the blanket stitch wasn't tight enough, it might catch on the foot of the long arm as it's going stitching. So you'd have to really keep your eyes on that one. Oh, Crafty Simple Life, what's going on? What answer? Okay, hold on. I had another question. Where's some of my other quilts here? Okay. This was one. This was a lesson learned for me. Okay, I did this as a scrappy blue project. I should probably see some of the blues in this project, even though it was done years later. I had a lot of blues and I had a lot of greens. So I thought to myself, okay, Laura Lynn, you got to bust your stash. So I made a blue quilt, and this was specifically for me because my quilt at the time was completely falling apart, top, bottom, all of it. So, and this has a silk backing to it because it was a silk top sheet. But I learned my lesson when doing custom boats, bed sheets for custom boats, how to lay the template correctly so you don't end up with scrappy bits. Thank goodness this piece just fit. So, this is why I thought, oh, it's going to replace my quilt that I've had next to me for like, 10, 20 years. And I over-quilted it. It's fine for the couch, but it's not next to me in bed. That's for sure. So, and I don't know why I over-quilted it. I think I knew when I had laid it out, I had over-quilted it. But you don't know until you get there. Right? And she done and quilted. Like I guess I could have filled in here. So I put a stitch to pattern. I stitched this little curve wave here, and then I stitched the single line, and then I stitched the little ribbon, the little wave here. So that's what I did, right? But then when you get it even after wash, it's too quilted, right? My Nana left me 20 or so quilt blocks that have embroidery in the middle, so I want to finish it and quilt it, but it's supposed to be a queen, and I don't want to quilt that on my Esco. No, probably not. So the peacock quilt is definitely a piecers quilt rather than a quilter's quilt, meaning the piecing should shine versus the quilting. Yeah, exactly, Wendy. I totally agree with you there. You've done some beautiful work. I love your quilting that you've got going on that project you've been showing on the creative website. Yeah, it would be a great candidate for a quilt as you go too. If you want to do sections, do rows, you could do nice big rows and then put those rows together. So, and then I hand stitched this one because it was for me, right? So I hand stitched this one all the way, machined on the front and then hand stitched for the back. But you know, you don't know how it's going to feel until you get it next. And then I'm like, no, it's too quilted. I don't like it. So it's a lesson learned. And I'll show you too is, hold on, this section, I took it right off the bed, so not this one, this one. But this one was a scrappy one of my first ones, and this was before I even got Walt, so it's all hand stitched together and falling apart. But this goes to show you the importance, and I stress it here, the importance of batting when it comes to quilts, okay? Because this is only maybe 8, 9 years old, but because it sleeps next to me every night, where all those seams are meeting, I'm getting holes. See, all those little seams are now rubbing to the point I've got holes. So, and I hand stitched together. This is all hand. I just went around each square, hand stitched it all. And then I did a scrappy binding and then hand stitched it, and it's all coming apart too. So I'm like, do I slap it on the long arm with some batting and a backing now? Or do I put another backing on it? Or, you know, it's a beautiful, beautiful, very colorful project, but I also would like to preserve it too, right? Because this sleeps with me every night. Every night this sleeps with me, right? And it has all, it's my scrappies. It's got every little project I worked on. It's got memories. It's got a dress shirt. Oops. Oh, no, there we go. A dress shirt I hemmed for my mom. So her dress shirt's in there because it was way too long for her. She said she could have wore it down to her knees. I remember that, you know, and it's just, it's all the memories, right? So either whether it's hand quilting or machine quilting, it's the very much importance of batting helps save your, it's going to help save your quilt top. So, oh, what happened here? Got hooked on something. So whether it's over quilting or under quilting, Quilt as you go scares me, but you're probably right. I'm just going to have to suck it up and cope. Actually, I got a really, I've done making a quilt with your serger, or making a quilt top with your serger, and then I got like an idea of how you can do it a different way as well with this whole quilt as you go, so you're not doing any hand stitching. So we'll do that as a video for sure. New backing, yeah, a little bit sturdier. Not for that one, but not for this one. For that one. Well, yeah, true, right? But then, do I long arm it or do I hand stitch it all again? Because I do like the hand stitch part of it. You know, I did do that well beforehand. There's many quilts out there that have been hand stitched by me. So, off to sleep. Okay, Sarah, have a good sleep. Night, everyone, and everyone be safe. You as well. Hello, Diane. I would add batting and new backing. Good morning, Kathy. Quilts and crafts. How you doing? Yeah. So, so that's thread, batting, quilting. What else? What else should we cover? And then there's quilting a quilt twice. There's a couple projects that I have and that I have put 2 stitch outs on them. Oh, this one here, perfect example. Okay, first we have 1 stitch out here that is just doing the little arch curve. Okay, And then you can see the other stitch out, which is square and rectangular windows. Okay. And then this is the, there you can see a little bit more of the two stitch outs right there. So that's not one stitch out, that's two totally different stitch outs. I sandwiched an old quilt from my granny with a new top back in order to keep it. There you go. I think I'm going to do that. Just put that on there. Very important. Well, I thank you. I hope so. If you did a long arm loop meander over it, you could still enjoy the hand stitching part. Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, because I can go down the little sides, right? So, yeah. So you may want to quilt something, and it's not overly quilted either, right? So, but you may want to put two different patterns on something, you know. Oops, on camera. Oh, it's taking too long to shift. Okay, where is this one here? But yeah, so this was definitely my favorite out of all, and the one I learned the most on, I think. Right? And it would have looked completely different had I used rulers, right? I use Glide. Glide is what my long arm machine likes. Hello, Roxanne. Hello, Teresa Louise. I quilt too. Got a bunch of quilters in the house. Yes, it definitely prefers Glide. I've had it with So Fine. I've had it with Aurifil. I've had it with 3 or 4 other little brands, and it just did not like it. This was the best. This was what Walt liked the best. It's my lunchtime. There you go. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, so this one was my very first paper piecing, and then I quilted each one in a different color. And this is Pop's quilt, because the backing's very sentimental to him. So, but it would have looked totally different had I used a ruler and had some sort of thought to what I was doing instead of just, oh, I'm so happy I just got to quilt this, you know? Because that's kind of what happened. And now it's all, but you know what? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's not perfect. He loves it, and that's, the person it's going to is all that matters, right? Right. Oh, Mr. Mike, doing pedicure. Ooh, fancy. Fancy. I really like the 2 different quiltings on there. There's the one on the dining room table. Allison can attest to it, as well as Pat Strawhouse, Gwenny. I'm trying to think who else. Oh, Eric. That I quilted that one twice as well. I did 2 different colored threads though. I did a red thread and then a white thread, and I did the quilting in opposite directions. So I quilted one way this way, took it off the long arm, flipped it around, and then did the same pattern but did it another direction in a different thread. And it really gave that, it's a Canada quilt. It's got red, white, and black, and it's beautiful. And it's our dining room table cover. And it turned out amazing, and I really like it. It's one of my, that was before I knew how to put, you know, when you make a maple leaf and it's the stem, that block that you put the little chunk of fabric on either side of the one piece. Yeah, I didn't know how to do that, so I just put ribbon. Hey, ribbon worked. I stitched the ribbon down, and I quilted over it too. It didn't care that the ribbon was there, so. I got my long arm in November of 2015. So, and I just played around and had fun with things like this for the first few months. You know, like this one and the big creative one I did for the hanging up in the house. So, and things like this as well, right? Where it's the small little micro stitching, right? So. But as to free motion quilting, it was probably at least 2 or 3 years before that I was quilting up quilts and hand stitching. So it was more hand stitching though. Only I think the free motion quilting kind of came about when there was the rush to get the 3 quilts done for the ants. So, okay, you take care, Mars. Big hugs to you. Hello, Lynn. Wow, just got in from work and another light. Well, yeah, yeah. Pop's still away. So, and then Friday, you're stuck with me too. We're doing a pumpkin wall hanging. So, you know, same bad time, same bad channel. Yeah, it definitely has its merits for sure. You know, whether you want the free motion or the machine, as we were talking about with Allison's quilt here. You know, you have a bit of mix. You have a mix of the mix of the machine, and you have a mix of the free motion quilting. So, right, the machine does the stars and the outside border part, and that's just the back. Like, that's just the back of it, right? So, right. And then you fill in all the pebbles and stuff like that. And then it just, nope, Pop's not home. And this is with the star that we trapuntoed. We put another layer of batting under this one. Oh, take care, Mike. You drive safe, okay? Drive safe. Yeah, so we were just talking about quilts and quilting, and you know, I over quilted this one. This one I actually made for me. You guys may have remembered some of that. So I used my Quilt cutter to cut all the pieces out, the little diamondy wedgy sort of thing, and put them together. And that was a learning experience on trying to match these up, like match these points up with a strip of fabric between. So that was yay. Now, I don't actually suggest the polyfilament thread. I have used it in my machine. It didn't really like it, so I only used it where I absolutely necessarily had to use it, and even then I ended up having to hand stitch a few of the stitches to kind of finish it off. Each machine is different. To me, it's a plastic thread, and that's not going to wear and tear. It's just going to end up breaking. So, and I've seen it. I've seen one that was done with a mono poly thread and had to take all the plastic bits out and requilt it. So, when you mix free motion and computer, your ruler work, which do you do first? Okay, I would definitely be doing the computer part first, because then it gets stitched down, and then you work around that, if that's your design, like I did with the stars. I stitched the star first and then worked around the star. And when I stitched it, hold on, let me bring this back here so I can show you. Where's my... Okay, hold on. Okay, so when I stitched the star stitched itself out, and then I came in and I tried to go around the star completely first to kind of preset, so I wasn't going to go into the star, right? And of course, I'm working on the blue side where you really can't, you can barely see where you're trying to stay next to the star, right? And then from there, you just fill in your whole space of where you want it. Like if I wanted to, I could have squared it out and had a line here too, but I kind of like the free of the bubbles, like the bubbles and the pebbles going around. I like that sort of the freeness of it. So. Well, my machine really happens to light glide, so I go with it, right? But I would definitely do the computer work first and then come back and do the free motion. But you can work it, if it's a big enough quilt, work it in stages. Do your computer, free motion. Hook it back up to the computer, do the computer, free motion. And that's how you work your way down a quilt, right? I ruined a beautiful eagle applique with poly thread. Yeah, I don't suggest it. It's not my favorite. Like I said, this was going around like badges and I was trying to stitch on the badge to get the badge down. So it was like trying just doing little circles in these badges to keep the badges down. Due to space constrictions and money, I have to straight line stitch my quilt. Well, that's fun. There's still lots of fun in straight line. You can even do a little curvy, but still, yes, I do many of those too. Many of those too. Do you mark your areas with chalk or friction pen? Chalk normally, if I need to mark it, if I need to mark something like that, yeah, I would use chalk or just the what is it, dressmaker's wax marker, right? So just this little guy. Like if you were trying to, you know, say you wanted to quilt this little wave pattern out, you could, it's meant for stamping, but you could also just come in with a marker or, you know, a thinner line of chalk or something like that, and then be able to see your lines. But yeah, I use something like this or the disappearing pens. So some of those Friction pins, they seem to come back to haunt some people. So it always worries me, especially when I'm working on customer pen quilt projects, right? They're not meant for fabrics. No, they're meant for what, paper? No, it's the other ones, so like with the heat that goes away or the time that goes away. Those ones. Was it already 2 o'clock? No. Is it? It's 12? 1 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock. Okay. Jeez. I thought, oh my goodness, where did the time go? Yeah, the mono poly thread would be the clear thread there, Irish, and I wouldn't do that. No. Because it's plastic. It's plastic at that point, right? Anybody have any questions? Any other questions? Because my favorite is 80-20 batting. I would use that whether I'm working on here or any of my customer quilts. They get the same as 80-20, depending on what it is whether it's this one or the white one, depending on what color they're working or I'm working with. Anyone tried a water soluble pen? Just got one the other day. Does it wash out? See, I did that, and I did a not cross stitch, but a back stitch. I did a back stitch of the horse. Do you remember the red horse I first started? I was going to do it for Sarah Lynn. It was like a unicorn horse mabob thingamajiggy, and I was just stitching it on fabric. I used one of those pens as a marking to kind of give me the guideline of where I needed to stitch. And when I washed it, it didn't come out. And also the red thread that I used ran too, so that probably wasn't a good idea, but it didn't come out either. You could still see it. So those are always like a hit or miss. You don't really know until you try it. And I think some fabrics and how they've been processed, there's going to be able to allow it or not, right? So oh, any other questions, Laura? Any other questions? I don't, like I said, I don't switch my bobbin out for a different thread. If I have, it's for a thread color, and I try to have it so it's very complementary to the top, just in case on any sort of curvature of a stitch out or something like that, you're not seeing any pokes of that color from the bottom up, or if you did, it would just blend anyways. Try not to go too extreme. Like, don't go a red on the bottom and a white on the top. You're just asking for disaster. So, you can try to find some happy medium in between those two if you need to. I use the heat erasable pens when drawing out an embroidery design because I'm stitching over it anyway. I have heard the Marks Be Gone pin is the best for marking quilts, but you need to know your fabric content and would do a test patch before. Yeah, that's what I was, literally, you must have been, I was saying as you were typing it there, Wendy, it depends on your fabric as well. Like, be very, test it in the salvage and then toss it in the wash or heat it to whatever just to make sure it's going to listen to you, because some fabrics are treated different, like batiks and cottons, two completely totally different treatments, right? So is that pin going to stay or is it going to go? Have you ever used wash away thread for Trapunto? No. What because to me it was a wasted cost. Because as far as I'm concerned, whenever I Trapunto, I can easily just rip out those base stitches. So, same with the star that I did for Allison. I Trapuntoed around with a regular thread, and then once it's done quilting, like now, I come back and rip out the base. I don't see the I didn't see the point in it, Carol. But if you do that's all the more power to you. But to myself, I have not, and I've Trapuntoed quite a few things. So, well, thanks for hanging out with us, Pat. Are you settling in? Are you settling in? Are you hanging back out on Zoom again? Oh, Miss Joanne. Well, surprise live. Hello. Yeah, we were talking about long arm and stuff. Do you have any long arming questions? Miss Joanne sat right here in the other chair and chatted with me for a few hours. Was it last Wednesday? No, it was Wednesday before. It was Wednesday. No, it wasn't last Wednesday. Yeah, it was last Wednesday. Oh my gosh, this time's going by too fast. I too tried to have fun free motion quilting. I learned so much on each project. I've had a mid-arm machine, and one day I hope to have a long arm and play with the computer patterns. Pop really wants a mid-arm, Sarah. So, and he's had the opportunity to play on this, and so has Munchkin. And even Pop did a couple of videos on him learning how to long arm, but he's really more keen to get himself a mid-arm there, Sarah. So maybe you can give him some tips and tricks when that arrives. Marks Be Gone pen. Yeah, I'll have to check that one out there, Wendy. Thanks for saying that. Try on something small before I venture into. Yeah, definitely. Always try and test it on something else. Hi everybody. Do you wash a quilt before you gift it or after you long? Oh, well, it'd have to be long armed and then finished and then washed. That's how I would do it. No, I don't. If it's a baby one, maybe. Like if it's a baby quilt, maybe, to kind of get that little fluff, you know, that quilted fluff to it. But the ones I've given away, I've just given away. I haven't washed. Unless I needed to maybe wash it, like maybe I left out, there was a mark on it or something, or, you know, whatever happened, you know, they needed to wash it. But no, normally I just give it away. Not hardly. Not moving it at all. How do you support your quilt when marking on the long arm? Well, my long arm is you pin at the top and you pin at the bottom, and then you got your clamps on either side, so you can mark it, or you pre-mark the quilt before going on the long arm, which is probably your best choice if you already know what you're going to do to it, right? So, yeah, there's chalk pencils. Yeah, there's the markers. Yep, and a little wax. Well, not wax, but you know, it's like the chalk. The other thing to consider are the chemicals that are in the fabric from the store. If you don't wash them out before marking, the inks may not react the same way. Yep. I use a Hera marker, says Jessie. If you want to buy one, what size is best? Start small or just go for it? What are you talking about, Lori? As into long arm? Well, you want at least a half decent size to do at least a queen size quilt, right? I got mine because it was a business investment. I was trying to invest in a business myself since Mom and Pop Quilt Shop. I got a big one. It was like go big or go home. So I got a big one. I always wash before, but I have animals and don't want them. Oh, okay. Well, that's definitely a factor there too. So. I finished Flounder on my Disney cross stitch, and now on next page, I put it aside for now to work on Zach's FPP Kingdom Hearts quilt. is that from the Soya brothers, the Soya, Sax FPP Kingdom Hearts. That sounds kind of cool. I'll have to check that out. I have done straight line quilting on my home machine, but also used the serpentine decorative stitch on my machine to straight quilt. There you go. Oh, excuse me. I don't wash them before gifting. I figure they're going to wash it anyways. Yeah, exactly. And it's with their soap and it's with their detergent, because I have very sensitive skin, so I'm only cold Tide water and non-scented Bounce. That's it. So long arm. Yeah, well then you would want something that's space-wise too, because to have Walt, he needs like to get around him. He's a big space. I think we measured it. What was it? 17 feet by like 15 feet or something that you need for that specific machine, like for that big machine. So you have to think about, do you have that space for it, right? So when you are packing up, well, to send them to, yeah, not. Hey, Katie, afternoon. My ultimate goal is to have a long arm pipe dream at the moment. But hey, you got to have a dream, girl. You got to have a dream. And you can't make it happen. Oh, no, sorry. Oh, okay. Okay, sorry. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure. Okay, well, that'd be kind of cool. I'll have to, you have to show me so I can figure out what you're making. Here, Marcus, leave creases. So no, oh, okay, okay, there we go. I gotcha. I thought that's what it was like. You know, it's like not gouges, but makes a dent in the fabric. So she's gone to bed. She went to sleep. Yeah, and there's stitches on your machine that you can use as well, right, to do your quilting. So don't have just to use a straight line, and you can use a bigger stitch, use a smaller stitch, use a small zigzag, make a big zigzag. Anybody have any other questions? Sophie would like a cookie though. And I've got all the quilts from the house out here in the shop. There you go. There you go. Just take it. What's making you jump for it? I have only the blue, sorry, I've done the blue. I've only have the green and the purple to go and to finish them off. That's just the green and the purple to go. So, and that's an accomplishment and a half. So, yeah, all sorts of quilts today. This one, over quilted. But mine, lesson learned. What are we working on next for the sewing piecing project? Well, the Saturday is the kaleidoscope. We're going to finish off that one. Shouldn't take us too long. I got most of the blocks done. But Friday's live stream, because it's not a video, live stream, we're going to work on a pumpkin wall hanging. We're just going to grab a cute little coloring book, trace out, make a pumpkin, make a cute little wall hanging. Get all ready. Get ready for fall. Get ready for fall, y'all. Yeah, I think the kaleidoscope quilt's going to look really nice when it gets done, for sure. Yep, yep. Anybody have any questions? Anything? Anything at all? Looks like, yeah, we might be getting some more rain again. Yeah, I'm kind of worried about the storm heading our way. Well, thank you, Carol. I appreciate that. Just got to walk the dogs, take care of one seat soon. Take care of Mistress Louise. I could too. She sure can, Mr. Mike, because you asked. Here we go. Come here. Come here. There we go. There. You certainly can have another cookie. I hope you don't get called into work either. You can come hang out with us, make a little Halloween. And we'll finish it off. We'll quilt it up on here and everything. So just make a cute little pumpkin wall hanging. Just hang out for a bit. So if anybody does happen to watch this after the fact, and if you had any questions or any suggestions for anybody who had any questions in the chat, please leave it below. Thank you very much for your time. You're welcome. Thanks to everybody who hung out and was given information and had any questions. And here's hoping I answered a few. Next time I'll see if I can try and get a camera over to the long arm itself without it actually having to be a camera that I videotape with. It's good. He's parked his tractor off to the side, so, and it's deeper. It's definitely deeper because I said I wanted it for fish, you know, future fish for we can go, like, not necessarily we got fish in there, but you know. But nor do I want to just feed the herring population either. So they're not here. So there's been, I have windows, but they're not my windows. So it's ready for the rain. Yes, it is. He did a good job. He did a good job. So I think Pop would have liked it a little bit bigger, but we're going to stay the way it is right now. Okay. And Miss Sophie's like, we're here looking for attention. Hi, what you doing? Gonna say bye to everybody? Hey? She's like, you didn't have my camera on, lady. I need my time with my people. I'm sorry. Okay, I have a dental appointment. Oh no, that's not good. That's not good, Joe. That's not good, Joanne. Nope. All right, so we learned about the importance of not over quilting, the importance of probably using a ruler, and planning out designs so they don't look like scribbly wibbly thing, and the importance of batting, right? This was one of the threads that, this is one of my first scrappy projects that I made for Walt. It's a Christmassy kind of thing. But I think it was the So Fine thread. Come on in. Come on, just come in, it's fine. The So Fine thread made it peak in spots. And I didn't like it, and I didn't know how to change it. You know what I mean? Like, it had little pokey parts that would come through, and I didn't know how to change it, and it didn't like stitch out the face very nice for me. So, yeah, this is one of the Christmas ones. So, come say hi. We were just saying goodbye. So you come say goodbye too. Mind all the quilts. Just say, I think I took all the quilts from the house.
Hello, everyone. Goodbye, everyone.
I'll be going to bed and go, uh-oh, I got to go out to the shop to get my quilt. Yeah, we'll see you Friday. Same bad time, same bad channel. Do you want to go hit the buttons, or?
I don't know how to put it.
Okay.
To hit.
Okay, well then just wave to the people. Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks for keeping my mom company.
And in.